Hello. Good morning to everyone listening to me, or good afternoon wherever you are, or good evening wherever you are. My name is Tapang Ivo Tanku, and I just hope everybody comes online right now. I announced a few minutes ago that I'll be coming online. And to begin with, let me see if I have some notifications coming in. Keep going. We're telling your friends to join in your video. All right. While I'm waiting for my friends to join in, I'm waiting on my friends to join in. Yeah, okay, I can see a couple of friends coming in already. So once more, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone watching me right now. My name is Tapang Ivo Tanku, and I am here to address some key issues in my country. If you've been following me for a very long time, you would know that I just hope my sound is okay. Please, can someone say okay if you're listening to me? Is my sound okay, my sound? Can you listen to me? Can you listen to me? Anybody, please, can you say okay? I just need an okay if you're listening to me. All right. I need an okay if you're listening to me. All right, good. It looks like a couple of people are listening to me right now. So my name is Tapang Ivo Tanku. As I said, I've been a social media advocate for a very long time. Not because I love the social media or I work for Facebook, but it's because I love my country and I use every platform to promote the goals in my country, values. I need values. So basically, as a journalist, I've been working as a journalist for a very long time. So I use the platform on every opportunity I see. I can use the Facebook to reach out to people. One, let me tell you the value of this strike. First, let me address the Anglophone problem by bringing in the social media. I've heard many people talking about the social media negatively, and I, as a media expert, and I with a background in journalism, I have a bachelor's degree in journalism, I have a master's in diplomacy with specialty in international communication, and my PhD as well is having an integrated solution in journalism. That is what they call peace journalism. So I want to clarify this issue of the social media. The social media is a very, very big tool in Cameroon because of some reasons. When you look at the Internet World Statistics, 4.1 million Cameroonians use the social media. And in those 4.1 million people, we have 2.1 million on Facebook. This is a very huge number. It has grown within 6 months. It has grown geometrically. I mean, in May, the statistics for those on Facebook alone was, I think, 1.7 million. So you can understand where we are coming in. So the social media is very strong, and people should use the social media adequately to reach out to their goals. So one, I want to address this issue of the Anglophone problem. The Anglophone problem is very huge, and there is a common identity that should bring all of us together. This, if you are an English-speaking Cameroonian, you should listen to me keenly. If you've ever been to Yaoundé, or if you've ever crossed into the French-speaking zones, and you have an experience with the ministry or whatever, applying for a job, or even applying, writing, or speaking to people, you would understand that the marginalization gap is huge. There is no Anglophone, even if you're a minister in Cameroon, who would not identify with the Anglophone problem. There is none. Even within CPDM itself, everybody has an Anglophone problem. Let us not turn a blind eye to that problem. We are living in a country where we are marginalized. It is a fact. If you sit an exam in Cameroon, it is a fact that they favor the Francophones. There was some dubious policy that came up in 2006 during the medical school, whatever they call regional balance. That was a dubious policy because they wanted to twist around issues to favor those whom they selected. I think it's 56 or so. It was 100. It was initially 126 names put on that UB medical list. They added 56 more to favor what they call regional balance. There is nothing like regional balance. For the past decades, we've been having this problem huge, and it was only in 2006 that it came up with some regional balance. Why don't we have regional balance even within the ministries? Why don't ministerial appointments have regional balance? Why don't we have regional balance in every strata, every sector in the country? Yet you come up with some dubious policy called regional balance. Look, if you are an Anglophone, Even within the CPDM itself, you know that you cannot progress to a certain level because of the Anglophone problem. It is a legitimate right for every citizen. I am a citizen of my country. You are a citizen of your country. It is your legitimate right to speak out. It is your legitimate right to look for careful or peaceful processes of turning the balance. It is your legitimate right to question power. I am a journalist, and I define journalism as the ability to speak to power, to question more. That is it. Has CRTV been doing that role? No. It's a crooked CRTV. It has not been doing that role. Yesterday, CRTV came up with one Paul Atanganji. He's the minister. I respect the ministers, but he was very dubious. That minister was very dubious, and CRTV too was very dubious. Because you cannot be coming on the news program and you bring just one person in a problem that is highly fractionalized, highly polarized problem. The Anglophone problem and the Francophone issue. These are polar issues. They are at extremes, at variants. Then you come to on set, that's the 12 p.m. news or whatever, and you bring in just one person who favors the narrative of the regime. It is wrong, CRTV. Shame on you. It is wrong. It is wrong. So at the end of the day, we all have issues. Even the Anglophones who were on that program on CRTV, or even those CRTV journalists themselves, have a problem. Even I was in CRTV in 2009. I worked in CRTV in 2008, 2009. And in 2009, there were 21 Anglophones working only in Yaoundé. The whole of Yaoundé, there were just 21 Anglophones. Journalists like Moki Edwin Kindika were shuttling between radio and TV every time. Why can't you recruit Anglophones? Why can't you recruit brilliant journalists who speak well? Why can't you recruit brains? Why? It is a deliberate ploy to cripple Anglophones, which is bad. So when Anglophones start speaking out, you go to the streets to shoot them. Then you shoot them and you invade their homes and you tear gas their own homes. If you beat me on the street and I run into my house, then you pursue me and come into my house and you're putting itchy water on me. What do you expect me to do? You have pushed Anglophones to the wall, and Anglophones have to react. But this is not the time for reaction. The reaction should be very peaceful. I would explain certain issues. The first one is, I want to address the power of the social media. If you're an Anglophone and you're on the social media and you want to turn a blind eye to the Anglophone problem, then you have a problem. If you're an Anglophone and you're on the social media and you're not sharing posts about the Anglophone problem, then you have a problem, not where you are, but in the head. In your head, you have a problem. Because we all have suffered marginalization. We all have suffered in some way. We have suffered in our own country. When I look at the lawyers, they have been doing a very fantastic job. When I look at the teachers, they've been doing a very fantastic job. But there is a problem. The problem of leadership. There is a problem of leadership. This all started so well. This all started with some peaceful approach towards resolving the issues or whatever. Never in Cameroon's history have Cameroonians come so close to dialogue. Never in Cameroon's history have we come so close to dialogue. Never. And it is because the social media has played a very instrumental and important role. Never in Cameroon's history have Cameroonians been speaking out as one. Never in Cameroon's history has SCNC been speaking out with citizens as one. Never in Cameroon's history have Anglophones abandoned their political lineage, their coats or their jackets. I can take this off. Never in Cameroon's history have we thrown away our jackets to identify ourselves as one. This is a huge moment where we can come together. Let us forget all of the abuses. Let us forget we should shrug off every grievance we have and identify ourselves along one problem. Don't look at your brother like a CPDM. Don't look at your brother like an SDF or an NCNC. If I spoke about NCNC, I'm sorry. But let us come together as one and identify one common issue, which is Anglophone marginalization, or we call it the English-speaking marginalization. English-speaking Cameroonians have been marginalized. This is a fact. I am a free thinker and I always develop my opinions independently. But I am coming here now on social media, live on Facebook, because I'm aggrieved. I'm very angry. I'm vexed by these issues taking place in my own country. in my own country. People can say I sit in the US talking. I'm not in the US, or I'm always in Cameroon, and it's my country. Cameroon is my country. I have a right to speak in my country. I've been working in Cameroon. I only came to the US just last year. That means for the past day, in fact, since I was born, I was in Cameroon. And if anybody knows me, they will tell you, Ivo has always been very critical, even in Cameroon than here. It's just because of schoolwork, I'm not being critical. I was very critical. I would speak to power. My videos are all online. Interviewing the Minister of Public Health, Andre Mamafuda, the Communications Minister. I interviewed him for the BBC and CNN. Ngolen, that whatever. I interviewed him for CNN. My name is online. And if anybody doubts my work, go online, punch it, Tapang Ivo CNN, and you see the works I've been doing in Cameroon. I'm not afraid of the regime because I'm speaking about my rights, and you should speak about your rights. But be careful. It is a security issue. In Cameroon, you should be very careful. In as much as you're marginalized, you should know your place. But there is a limit to what we can take. There is a very strong limit to what we can take. But we should be careful. We need people to be alive to fight for this struggle. We don't need people to be dead to fight for this struggle. We need those souls to be alive. Killing 2 people already in Bamenda, or 3, as some media reports, it is huge. It is a huge number for us, and it's a loss for us. We don't need more deaths. We should go about this peacefully. And we need to come together and speak together as one. CRTV, that crooked CRTV. I work for the CRTV. I have due respect for that. But I'm talking about the policies of CRTV. It has been twisted. It has been thwarted to favor the narratives of the regime. Of course, it's a propaganda tool. But the social media plays a very huge role in sabotaging the CRTV, which is very good. Congratulations to everybody watching us right now. This is very good. Mark Barretta, I want to address a special notice to you or whatever. He's my very good friend. He's a very good guy. Please follow him. Very good guy. Please follow him. These are people who have sacrificed their time, their efforts, everything to sit and fight for you Anglophones. Sheikh Kiavo Womilim, he's an SCNC activist. He's a very good man as well. These are people who have been fighting for Anglophone problem. You watching me, you're a very good person. You've been fighting for the Anglophone problem because you're watching me. You're a very good person. And so let us identify ourselves along the Anglophone problem. I am non-partisan. I am not an SDF. I'm not a CPDM. I'm not a Kawala or whatever. I'm not an SCNC. I am Tapang Ivo, and I'm independent. I'm a free thinker. And if I come online to speak something, it's because my brain tells me that this is what is right. And this is my final take. I've been flip-flopping because as a free thinker, you develop your ideas independently and you're not bound or you're not constrained by some political ideology. So as a free thinker, I flip-flop. But here I'm not flip-flopping. I'm telling you there is an Anglophone problem and we must come together. The lawyers have done their best. The citizens now should unite. Every citizen. Akanga Ponji went online. I'm very happy with the reactions you guys grilled him on social media. And he has a smartphone. He should be listening to his stupidity. And everybody. I don't know why Young Philemon is going to Bamenda. Please boycott Young Philemon in Bamenda. Boycott him in Bamenda. Because the Anglophone problem is bigger than Young Philemon, the Anglophone. The Anglophone problem is bigger than Young Philemon, the Anglophone. You go there to sit and get a juice or whatever and get some free drinks and you drink? Or what do you mean? You go there to sit and do what and dialogue with Young Philemon as who? As who? Let's be honest. We are shooting ourselves in the leg. If the mountain, Young Philemon, can come to Mahomet, then we expect something great. Therefore, we expect that even Buea can come to Bamenda again. For the second or the third time, for the third time in his history, he can come to Bamenda again and sit with the Bamenda people and discuss with them and dialogue with them, and we should propose solutions. If Young Philemon can leave from Yaoundé and come to Buea and come to Bamenda, therefore Buea can as well come to Bamenda. Please, Bamenda people, please Buea, please Yaoundé, please Limbe and everybody. This is Tapang Ivo. I am for you. I've been fighting for you. I've been with you. I am non-partisan, but I would sacrifice everything to be with you. You're my people, and I'm your son. So we should speak as one. Nobody goes to Yaoundé. We are crying that we have been marginalized, but we want to go and hold a meeting in Yaoundé. Does that really make sense? Does that really make sense? Does that really make sense? That we've been crying, we've been marginalized for a very long time, but we want to go to Yaoundé. Are you to dialogue in Yaoundé? Let them come and recognize the importance of Bamenda. Let them come and recognize the importance of Southwest. Let them come and recognize the importance of the Anglophone regions. We cannot be holding meetings all the times in Yaoundé. Yaoundé is the political capital, yes, but that political capital has been marginalizing us politically, economically, and socially. So let them come and let us sit together and discuss in Bamenda. Let them come together and let us discuss in Bamenda. I'll be welcoming questions in a very few minutes, but I just want to tell you there's a poll going on. I'm a statistician. I've been doing so many things, intellectually or whatever. My posts have always been there. I give solutions. Please, vote, go and vote in that poll. I am bringing out a survey to express to the government, empirically, I can do a presentation. If Mr. Buea invites me to Cameroon or to whatever, to Bamenda or whatever, or Philemon Young and the rest with all the ministers, I would empirically prove to them. This is the Anglophone problem. This is what the people are talking about. I worked in Liberia in the peak of the Ebola crisis, and I was very instrumental in ending that Ebola crisis. Go online and check on my name. There was a campaign I wrote out when I was employed there. I left from the UN in Cameroon as the head of communications. I got a job in Liberia during the peak of Ebola. When everybody was fleeing from Liberia, I took my bravery and I went there below the age of 30. I have sacrificed a lot for Africa, and I will sacrifice a lot for you, my Cameroonian people. I went there. There were just two problems that the people were not saying. One, listening to the people, very important. Because there is a disconnect in Cameroon between the government and the people. This is the government here, this is the people down here. And the problem is the government does not want to listen to these people. That was the same problem in Liberia. The humanitarian organizations were here and they were not listening to the people enough. So when I came as a liaison, and my role was the health communications liaison officer. So when I came as a liaison, I established a base with the community, just like I'm speaking with you right now. Fielding in questions. In a day, I could gather 700 different rumors about Ebola. Ebola was created by the whites. It was created to destroy Africa. It's a biological weapon. I cluster them and I feed them back to these humanitarian organizations, telling them that this is what the people are talking about. In Cameroon is the same thing. This is what the people are talking about, Mr. Buea. This is what the people are talking about, Mr. Philemon Young. This is what the people are angry about. You have disconnected yourself from them. You must listen to them. They are your citizens. You must listen to them and you must not kill them. Listen, they are your citizens. You're killing your own people. You, Mr. Buea, you're killing your own people. Your military is killing its own people. It's not right. It's not right. It's not right. They are pushing the people to the wall. They are pushing the people to the wall, and you have seen videos. Thank God, because of the social media, CRTV will never have shown these images. We've seen video of people being, in a hostel, a student hostel. You come with a police cannon of water and you pour it on students' beds and on their books and on their laptops, the 75,000 laptops you bought for them. You pour that itchy water on them. How do you expect the citizens to be happy? How do you expect your citizens to be happy with you? Is it fair? Is it fair? Is it fair? I'm speaking out the truth, Mr. Buea. I'm speaking out the truth, my dear citizens. I'm speaking out the truth, every Cameroonian. We have seen the videos. We've documented everything. These are the facts. So what is the way out? CRTV, you have failed us. You're not speaking the truth to the people. You're not bringing all parties on the dialogue table. When you hold a news conference or when you hold a news live, whatever, bring all parties on the table. Don't vex people by coming with Atanga Ponji and putting alone and he's speaking out his thing and you're not even free to ask your questions because you're afraid of your small 100,000 salary. Of course. When I was in CRTV, I gave my best. I was the youngest person ever to report on Cameroon calling. I was brilliant, as people would say. But I was never recruited. I was never. But when I left, BBC picked me up, CNN picked me up. and my career started going. Why do you throw away brains in this country? Why? Why? If you're listening to people, you should listen to them. You should bring them on a dialogue table. It is very, very, very funny. So I don't have a problem with NCNC. I don't have a problem with SDF. I don't have a problem with CPDM. I have a problem with bad policies. I don't have a problem in Cameroon. I have a problem with bad policies. I don't have a problem with people. I have a problem with bad policies. Policies that do not listen to the people. The SCNC has been very instrumental. I'm talking as a free thinker, and they have been balanced. But they are looking at it from the Anglophone perspective, which is right. Let us bring them in. They have a problem. There is a right to self-determination which is enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights 1948. There is a right to self-determination which is enshrined in the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. There is a right to self-determination which is enshrined in every state. That is what the SCNC is advocating for. From this poll, which I've wrote out to the public, I can already see the reaction. The SCNC people want the SCNC to take the lead and divide it and how they call it, roll in independence. Of course, when you're beating your wife so badly, what do you expect your wife to do? To go and fight for a divorce. So they have a legitimate right to fight for a divorce. They should fight for a divorce. But that is not the stage right now. That is not the stage right now. We should come together. If Mr. Buea and his regime is listening to us, the citizens, we are his citizens. If he's listening to us, please stop killing. Let us stop killing our own people. Look, soldiers, I always predict things and they happen because I use empirical evidence. I'm here thanks to the Buea's government, and in partnership with the US government, I'm on a Fulbright Scholarship. I thank you for that one. Yes, of course, let me give you some credits. I'm here to go back to Cameroon to give back to my community. Let me go back in peace. Let me go back in harmony. Let my community embrace me and accept the knowledge I've gotten from the US. I don't like the US in the first place to stay here. I go back to my country every time. But after my program, I want to settle my country permanently. And that is why I'm fighting, that my country should have citizens respected equally. Everybody must be equal. If I sit an exam with a Francophone, I should pass that exam if it's my right to pass it. So these are my solutions. The first thing is nobody should hold any meeting with anybody lesser than the president. The second thing is the UN must be present in that meeting. This is a problem that transcends sovereignty. This is a problem that transcends borders. This is a problem that transcends 1 year. It transcends even decades. This is a problem that dates back to 1961 during the referendum. This is a problem that has been hinged on one point. The UN never signed that union. We voted yes, but the union was never signed. This is a problem that dates back to the period when the youths, or when John Gufoncha and the rest were not so educated, but they had their political parties. You cannot blame them for that. So as someone has said, we have to drain that swamp. Cameroonians are very much educated than now. Cameroonians are very much educated now. Cameroonians are very much aware. There are always two things I always pick out. There are two things. If you've been following all my posts, I never advocate for violence. I advocate for peaceful ways of resolving conflicts. So if all wars in Cameroon or all wars in the world have always ended up on the dialogue table, is this not enough of war for the past 50 years? What we have been suffering as Anglophone marginalization, has it not been war? So why don't we seek a dialogue table now? Do we go on to start killing people before we know that we have already committed so much of human rights abuses, gross human rights violations? No. Let us sit on the table right now, and that table must be a round table. Round table because Mr. Buea has to come to Bamenda, the opposition stronghold. He has to come with his delegation of the UN to Bamenda and hold that meeting. It is not Philemonian, who is just a ceremonial prime minister. He's just ceremonial. He's a cosmetic prime minister, very cosmetic. He can be wiped out of the tower, You put on makeup, you can wipe that thing out. He is a ceremonial prime minister. Please, teachers, I know there is a lack of coordination, but I'm speaking to you as an independent free thinker. Some people have said, I will take the lead or I will do what. I'm not taking any lead. I'm speaking as a citizen. I'm concerned. I'm not interested in power. I'm not interested in politics. I'm not interested in gaining some artificial wealth. No. I am interested in expressing my right as a citizen in my own country. My people have been killed. My people have been killed on the streets. My people have been killed for expressing their views. My people have been shot on the streets. I don't like it. When I was during UB or whatever, Baramak, Bemondo, and the rest, Achiri, we fought on the streets for the rights of students of the University of Buea. I have 3 grenade bullets or whatever on my legs, scars on my legs. Because I fought hard. I fought hard to see my people succeed. But now, UB has become a mess and the US and the UB Students Union has been cleared off. That is how the regime operates, like a gangster. I've been always quoted on 2 words that I've introduced in Cameroon. Gangster regime and rogue state. Of course, it acts like a gangster. If it works, it creeps, it smiles like a gangster, then it's a gangster. If he goes to the university students area and splashes water on people's hostel, then it is a gangster. What is it? Is it not a gangster? It is a gangster. You come and see students, you don't even, in that video, it's so terrible. Students are not even around. The police comes with a truck, pulling the truck left and right, then start spraying water on students' hostels. Do you pay that person who built that hostel? Have you paid him? Have you compensated him? Was the owner of that property in that strike? You spray water, you break his property, you destroy his property. Will you compensate him? The military should be investigated. Those who committed that crime should be investigated. Those who committed that crime must be investigated. It is our right because we pay our taxes and our taxes go into the pockets as salaries to those soldiers. So it is our right. Those who did that act must be investigated. And if there was any violence on the street, people caught, they should as well be investigated. But, Mr. Soldiers, please know that if there is any action, you push people to the street and people start fighting on the street and the soldiers are deployed everywhere, there is war or whatever in Cameroon, know that for every 1 person you're killing in Bamenda, a soldier will also be killing maybe your family member in somewhere. That's a fact. Look at what happened in Egypt. The military turned to side with the people. They dropped their tools. In Egypt, if you've been following the Arab crisis, the military sided with the people. They said, no, excuse me, how can we be killing our own people? If I'm a soldier today, I have 7 brothers and sisters. If I'm shooting 1 person and killing in Bamenda, for example, and somebody is killing my sister in Yaoundé, how will you feel? How will you feel? Then you send soldiers. The irony is that they send soldiers from Yaoundé. They have been speaking in French just to tell you how brutal they want to be. Just to tell you how brutal they want to prove to you a point. Just to tell you how brutal the gangster regime has been. Just to tell you how brutal the rogue state has been. And it's true. You come to the opposition leader's house, John Frundi, and you tear gas his house. For nothing. In his own home, you open the gate and you flush tear gas in it. What kind of message are you sending out? Mr. Frundi has been holding his patience for a very long time. That man is a good man. You try that thing with some other person, I bet you Cameroon will be in turmoil by now. Cameroon will be in turmoil. Not everybody can hold his anger just like what Frundi did. Nobody. Several days after his house has been tear gassed and ransacked and probably his children raped or forever, maybe if that was possible, he's still holding his calm. People have been holding their calm in this country for a long time. This what when people dubiously use. I have studied a lot. I have read so many books, more than 700 books from page A to page B. I'm well learned in science even. My background is in science. I'm doing this thing or whatever in social sciences just because I was frustrated. I left from UB with geology or whatever. I could be working in Pectin or whatever. But there were no jobs. Let me get a journalism degree. Let me get a journalism thing and attach myself to. Because I have a journalism degree as well. But when people are angry, they are angry. People don't have jobs. People don't have jobs in this country. It is sad. When people are aggrieved, when people have grievances, I always say, when people dubiously say there is peace in Cameroon, please correct that statement. Tell your neighbor. If someone tells you that there's peace in Cameroon, tell him that there's no peace. That's what they call negative peace. My research entirely, I'm a peace advocate. I'm a peace journalist. I give solutions freely. My solutions are paid, are hired for by the UN. My solutions are hired for by other organizations. But for my country, I give solutions freely. I analyze even better when I'm doing my things for organizations than even that riff-raff write-ups I do. When I do a write-up, I've done write-up. I give solutions to everything I see. When I criticize, I give solutions. And that is how Cameroonians must be. When I see any post on Facebook, you criticize without giving solutions, I would call your name out. If you want to criticize anything like bad roads, think out of the box and provide a solution that is new. Add to solutions. I want to see Cameroonians giving solutions to the problems that they bring up. I'm criticizing the regime and its bad policies. I'm criticizing the opposition for even weakening generations of struggle. I will come to that point. And in a moment, please keep your questions. I'll come to that point. The opposition weakening generations of youths. I will come to that point. And I am so aggrieved. When grievances, Cameroon is experiencing negative peace, not positive peace. There are two kinds of peace, negative and positive peace. Galtung, Galtung, who is a peace researcher. He's the one who came up with those concepts. He's a theorist, one of the leading theorists. He's even a mathematician. So at the end of the day, he came out and said, look, let us analyze this critically, empirically, and it's been proven. There are two kinds of peace, negative and positive peace. Negative peace is when both sides, all parties are not communicating but are not fighting. When there is no coordination, when there is no integration, when there is no understanding and empathy, where dialogue does not work. But people are so angry, but people are not fighting. And Galtung says that is even more dangerous than some forms of conflict. When you look at Cameroon, it applies so well. Anglophone and Francophone Cameroonians are not integrated that well. It has been proven, the Anglophone problem. Nobody turns a blind eye to that. Only the dubious Atanganji who can criticize that with some dubious facts. So at the end of the day, there is negative peace. And negative peace is very dangerous because the people are so angry. And when they reach that boiling point with so much tension, so much pressure, if you've done geology, you know about volcanicity. When you know how a volcano and its conelets and the wells accumulate pressure in them, it becomes so violent that it starts looking for cracks and fissures to explode. And it becomes so violent. That is why my own Cameroon explodes once after a certain number of decades or a certain number of years. Because you accumulate so much pressure internally, you cannot hold it, and when you explode, it becomes hell. Cameroon is teetering on the brink of a collapse. We have negative peace, and that is bad for policymakers who sit there in that parliament. The only best thing they can do is to walk out. Is that not stupid? I fought on the street in 2007 or during that election thing. Baramak was there. We were the ones counting the poll. Baramak is my brother. He's my brother. We may have ideological differences, but he's my brother. We've been counting the poll from one station to the other. I can remember Achiri, Atanga Bermando, and even Sakwe Elvis. I can call names and names. They know me all. I was the PRO. I was a public relations person. I was working for CRTV, freelancing for Cartier News or whatever as a student. We're counting the polls who went from one polling station to the other. We were tear gassed. We're fighting for MPs. Those MPs who go and sit there with their huge pot bellies in the parliament, and the only best thing they can do is to simply walk out when they don't agree on a bill. And they don't walk out empty. They walk out with envelopes. They take their envelopes of money, they put, and then they walk out. They come and tell you, oh no, that bill was so like this. It was so stupid. Stupid MPs. You fight in that parliament, you box people. You have to box. You have to go on and box those old heads. Ukraine has been doing that. Ukraine did that. Brazil did that. So why in our parliament can we not have boxers? We need to recruit boxers in that parliament. We need to recruit people who have huge fists. We need to be voting boxers. We don't need to be voting old people. You have to fight for the people because we fought for you to be there. I don't want you to walk out. When you walk out, you come out, I box you. You don't have to walk out from that parliament. You have to be in that parliament and you fight for the people. I'm not a politician, but if I go into politics, I cannot hold this anger that I have. I cannot hold it. I see a lot of dubious activities. I'm just an intellectual. And if I give my point, people should listen to those points, because there's a point at which I can take things. When you go to parliament, you have to, if your bill is passed, a dubious bill, and if you see that bill is so stupid, you box that person, you go and hit the head, you knock the head. The kingdom of God suffered violence, and only violence taken away by force. You fight in that parliament. Don't fight on the street. Don't fight on the street. Fight in that parliament. Those MPs, call them, Joshua Osing and the rest. People should not be voting people because of sentiments. Vote people because they can fight for you. Vote people because they can box, because you've seen them boxing because of their rights. When you call Joshua, say, well, how many people has he boxed? How many? How many? People are fighting on the street. Where is he? Where is he today? Then these are opportunists. When the strike becomes something good for the nation, they show their heads. Oh, my people, can we discuss now, my people? They start using words, my people, my people. We have not been seeing you. We have been seeing those who are fighting for the people. We have been seeing those who have been fighting for the people. So at the end of the day, it is very simple. Please, my people, let us listen. Let us learn to listen. The social media coordinates. If you don't come to my page because I'm a free thinker, I don't even care. You go to Baramak's page. We speak as one. We are sending out the right messages to people. Please, no violence. Let me not speak for Mark anyway. I'm speaking to myself. You go down through my page. I don't say violence. Don't go on the streets and fight. Don't allow them to the policymakers. I want to see a change. As from today, I want to see a change in that parliament. When people go to the streets to fight for you to be in that parliament, you should have to fight for them there. You see a top official calling the social media a terrorist. A terrorist. I copied that on my wall. The message he read in parliament. He describes the social media in Cameroon as dangerous than terrorism. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. And social media as dangerous than terrorism. Terrorism. Do you know terrorism? That's Boko Haram, than ISIS. The social media dangerous than ISIS. Are you serious? Like seriously? Do you know what the social media has done to Cameroon? You should be calling SDF, or CPDM as dangerous than Boko Haram. Or you should even call CRTV as dangerous than ISIS. Because they have been helping to polarize the nation for a very long time. And when the social media comes with alternative voices, what I call in media studies as alternative voices, giving a platform. That's why on my platform, you can criticize me. You can say, Ivo, you have a big head. Ivo, you have this. Because I accept democracy, I accept alternative views. You can tell me all kinds of rubbish. I'm there, I'll just laugh, and I can call you silly or whatever. But we are still friends. That is how democracy should work. If I'm speaking this, Mr. Buea is listening or whatever, don't come and kill me tomorrow and say, hey, yeah. No, that's very stupid. Why you even kill me? Because I was expressing my rights? Because I'm speaking out to the nation? You have to allow people you have to listen to alternative voices. CRTV, that your plagiarism you're doing with this foreign media, with the foreign news, you go on the internet, copy word to word and paste. Come and read. Good morning, good evening. Here is the news right by this. The main headlines, the Minister of Higher Education in the US. That's so stupid. You have to be sued for what you're doing. That airtime you take to plagiarize foreign news, you have to use that airtime and report events back home. You have to use that airtime and give a level playing field to every other party. If you're a journalist with CRTV, all my friends, most of them are CRTV journalists. Please change your policy. You're not a bad person, no, but the policy that you're having is bad. Change that policy and work for the Anglophone interest. And work for the Anglophone interest. Because your brother, let me tell you, as you're reading the air, oh, here is the list, here is the news, right, by Tapang Ivo, first the headline. When you read on the air, know that there's somebody in your family who is suffering marginalization. So when you go there to an interview at Tangamponji or whatever, he speaks rubbish, abandon the microphone and resign. Is that your life CRTV? Make something which is impactful. I thank Charlene Dichia. If you know this journalist, in 1990 or whatever, in the 1990s, he resigned on air. He's still in Cameroon. He resigned on air. He said, and now lies from CRTV. Because he has been reporting lies. It has reached his neck. level. He cannot longer swallow it. He said, and now lies from CRTV. When he did that, he left. The journalists in Cameroon are very hungry. They cannot do that. I did that. I did that. I went to IRIC. I'm supposed to be a diplomat today. But here am I. I'm working for other places. So at the end of the day, people should be very... there is a limit to what people can take. There is a limit to what people can take. When people are angry, let them express themselves on the dialogue table. Because when you push them to the wall, you push them in their own homes, you go and allegedly rape girls, what do you expect them to do? You expect, when you have pushed me to this wall, you expect me to fight back, right? Of course. Newton's third law of motion states, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. You expect me to fight back, right? And when I fight back, don't say I'm violent, because that was my right to fight back. So at the end of the day, it is very simple. Advocacy for change, there are just two steps. The first one is to speak out. The second one is to take action. Let me tell you why Cameroon has been failing for a very long time. Cameroon has been failing for a very long time because CRTV and the opposition parties parties, not citizens. Let me look at the policies now. CRTV and opposition parties have been failing to speak out. We've never in Cameroon's history have citizens been able to speak out for the past 5 years. This particular action has caused chaos in the presidency, making them to describe us as terrorists, making them now they want to pass a bill that will now limit Ivo, maybe his actions or whatever, because I'll be afraid I'll be arrested. For now, you cannot be arrested in Cameroon for speaking on the social media because there's no law per se. There is no law per se. Why? Expressing your rights? There is no law. Then you start arresting all the commentators, right? Then the whole prison in Cameroon should be arrested. Why those gangster ministers are the ones stealing the money and they're running away with impunity? You have to flog them in public. If I'm a president tomorrow, I will flog those people who steal state money. You flog them in front of the media on Friday in the afternoon. And in front of their family, flog them. Then you ask them and give them an interview. Mr. Minister, how do you feel right now? Oh, I feel bad. My butt is paining this way. Exactly. That is how you should do it. You flog them. Flog them. When you flog, they'll come and give you the money. And that is how, it's not a human rights violation. I've done human rights to the highest level. I have published papers on human rights. It is a right. That is why there is always a big clash in human rights studies between what they call cultural relativism and human rights itself. Because where there are cultures, for example, it's a right to be a gay in the US, but it's not a right to be a gay in Cameroon, because it's a cultural right. It's a cultural right. So if you're flogging, maybe if it's not a right in the US, flogging in Cameroon because they want to roll out a good policy, it should be a cultural right. You flog them in public in front of their wives. Flog them and their children. They would keep some head. So at the end of the day, please listen to policymakers. I see a lot of people taking advantage of the strike. Maybe they are doing it rightly. There are two kinds of people in this strike. What we call activists, those people who are going on the streets to fight. What we call advocates, those people who want good governance, the rule of law, who are preaching for this. And the people who are going on the streets are angry. You cannot hold them. That is why it's uncoordinated. You cannot hold them. They have been keeping for a long time. And Okada, I sold groundnuts. For people who know me, I sold groundnuts, like groundnuts, carrying on my head in Bamenda from Cow Street. Groundnuts and bananas. I sold bananas and groundnuts. I walked to school barefooted for a certain period of time in Bengui. I've suffered. Don't look at me like somebody who has been spoiled or whatever. I have suffered. I sold groundnuts in the streets. I know what suffering is. I'm still young. I'm still below 30. But I've done things that are unimaginable. I fought for my life. I fought for my family. People are fighting for their family. People are fighting. And people are angry because they have been marginalized. So listen to them. They're your citizens because they pay taxes. It is so bad. Una need shame. Try, master. Shame not live the regime self. Shame gets today. People they carry shame for their heads off. It is bad. So at the end of the day, please, I encourage every Cameroonian. I love you guys. I love everything you're doing. Nobody should discourage you that you're on the social media talking. Anybody who asks you that you're on the social media talking, ask him that where is he listening to you. He is there. He is there somewhere in Bamungo or whatever, reading you on social media. He's on the ground. Is he not on the ground too? Tell me. When opposition leaders come around clamoring for votes, they come once in 7 years or 8 years. They come and blast my mega microphone. Oh, when I come on a rally now, so more will try to see how we work out for the country where they don't carry some money put our back. Oh, when I come on, I do so. But the social media has been constantly beaming ideas, making people to think, even without elections coming up. My write-ups and the rest educate people's minds, debate the solutions, think you can come and criticize me. Oh, Ivo, you're so biased this one because I allow you to criticize. So people should be looking at the solutions. When you come to my post, please don't look at the post. No, go to the comments. The comments are more brilliant than my post because people now have different ideas. They come up with different ideas. When they come up with different ideas, any smart policymakers or policymaker can cluster those points and make a very good policy for the nation. It's not as if I'm intelligent. I'm not intelligent. I'm very dull. But I think. So at the end of the day, it's very simple. Please, I love every Cameroonian. Everyone should rally behind one factor. Not because you're an SCNC or you're SDF or you're Frundi or you're, for example, Tapang's People's Party, for example. Rally because we identify ourselves with the Anglophone problem. And I support Sheikh Kiavo Womilim 100%. I discussed with him a few days ago. He's a very good man. He's been my friend. We were in the seminary together. Some people may not know that. I mean, that guy who is a champion for SCNC, which is very good. He was my big in the seminary. It was, of course, these seminarians are the ones doing things in this country. The priests are the ones fighting and preaching. Why those? I don't want to talk too much. Excuse me. I spoke with him on phone, on Facebook. He is fighting for a good cause. I said, let us look at these things together. We identify ourselves on one common ground, which is the Anglophone problem. He says, no, we have reached a limit. SDF started by talking about federation or something or whatever. He was giving some allusions to SDF, which is good. But he says we have to take another course, independence. I have put out a poll out there today. People have the right to express themselves. People are in the diaspora contributing hugely economically to the nation. When you send money to Cameroonians back home, the Cameroonians see the money, they value the money, but they don't ask you that, oh, come back for country, can't work the money. They don't ask you that. But when you're talking now against bad policies in the country, they say, when I only should of America should talk about, when I come for Cameroon. That is very stupid. That's an empty head talking. It's an empty head. You have to drain that swamp in that head. You have to drain it. Because when you contribute, let me tell you, according to the Organization for Development of Africa Assistance, or they call it ODA, Africans contributed a whopping $60 billion in 2010. That's 10 billion more than what the IMF or international donors could do. That is a fact. Africans are helping the diaspora far more than even governments because of one reason. When those governments have revenues, what they call untaxed revenues, let me not go much into economics. I can talk about this topic forever. But let me summarize it. When revenues come to the state, they end there. Those thieves, those state gangsters or thieves, they keep the money here. They don't trickle that money down. So in fact, they feed the citizens with teaspoons. That is what they use to feed you. They want to give you food, they give you in teaspoons. Teaspoons, huge food here, but they feed citizens, adults with teaspoons. They ration it, small, they give you. You get it? So at the end of the day, it's very simple. When they feed you with teaspoons, you are very contented like Tangan Ponji, a very stupid idiot. Intellectually, he's an idiot. I'm not abusing his person. I'm abusing what he said on TV. So get me right. I talk about people's policies. I don't talk about their private lives. Everybody is a good man. Everybody to me, I was trained in the seminary. I was trained to love and not to hate. Everybody is a good person. But the policies that Atanganji or like any other leader will roll out, it's a bad policy. That man's swamp has to be drained. He has to be cleaned. He's a crooked Atanga. In fact, call him Lying Ted or Lying Atanga. That's his new name. Lying Atanga. You give him that name. So at the end of the day, please, please understand this. When people in the diaspora send money, because the regime has kept the money here, when they send money to people back home, appreciate it. Know that they are contributing to your own welfare. Know that they are contributing to a survival, to save a soul. I sit in the America as well. I help people I don't even know. I don't even have. I'm just here on a small stipend, on a scholarship. This is my one-room house. That's all. That's the only thing I have to give to the US. The US government sponsors me. It's not as if I'm a CIA or whatever. No, no, no. Cameroon government in partnership with the US government has sponsored me to come to the US and study. And what I'm studying is international security. That's all. So at the end of the day, if I go back to my country, I have to contribute. So if I come to the US, not because I'm running from Cameroon, or running from what? From what? I was in Cameroon. Has anybody ever arrested me? They cannot arrest me in the first place. What have I done? Do I have weapons? Do I have a gun to shoot somebody? Am I seeking to topple the regime? No. That you're expressing your right? Please be free to express your right. It's your right. The International Covenant on Civil and Political Liberties, 1966, and its additional protocols clearly protect you. The United Nations Declaration on Human Rights, 1948, clearly protects you. The African Charter on Human and People's Rights clearly protects you. Even the Constitution clearly protects you. So don't be afraid to express your right. It is your right. That is why lawyers cannot even be arrested, because they were not violent. Why would you arrest him? That he's striking on the street? They were not violent. So that is your right. Yeah, people are now saying lying atanga. Good. Thank you very much. I like those words. When I use words like gangster regime, you have to call it. And when those people come around, you call them gangster regime. When you walk on the streets in Cameroon, you say, we are living in a rogue state. Use those two words, gangster regime and rogue state. I want to see somebody writing gangster regime, and then rogue state. So you have to talk about these issues. So, Atanganji is a lying Atanga. Call him lying Atanga. So you have to write there lying Atanga. Because his policies are lies. He lies. The man lies like he speaks. Somebody who knows the truth, you cannot talk about the truth because of special duties. Do you mean what special duties to the presidency? Special duties means that you can just walk, the public call, say, oh my son, come and give me water. You go and give him water. Hey, Mr. Bia. That's a stupid position. A minister without a ministry? A minister without a ministry? Let's be honest, it doesn't make sense. A minister without a ministry? Don't be afraid to call them. I used a word, I wrote a post. If you have been following me for a long time, I'm sure people just are following me right now even. With my thousands of followers, if you have been noticing that, I said there's a word that should be added to the dictionary, walang. The verb to walang. You know Walang Richard? He's an MP in the Northwest, Mizam. This guy, he takes projects and funds, and he doesn't build roads. The people are fighting on the street.
Any Anglophone problem? There is no Anglophone problem in Cameroon. Are you repeating that? The statistics are clear. There is no Anglophone problem in Cameroon.
What about Tanganjipo?
Tanganjipo is a stupid man. Tanganjipo is a stupid man. Tanganjipo, be very careful, eh? Be very careful with your life.
You should not come to Bamenda. Why?
Don't come to Bamenda because we are very angry.
For no play where you they go, you must no play where you come out to. Ambazonia ne want for no, side way then come out to. For no play where you they go, you must no play where you come out to. Ambazonia ne want for no, side way then come out to. For no play where you they go, you must no play where you come out to. Ambazonia ne want for no, side way then come out to.